the spark that lit the fire. The Great Accord Summit had been doomed from the start. In orbit around the cold, dying star of Aurelian Prime, the diplomatic station Trucehold gleamed with false promises. It was a beacon of neutrality, a place where centuries of war had paused long enough to allow words, not weapons, to decide fates. At least, that was the illusion. Ambassador Lyra Cade stood tall in her flowing navy robe, the seal of the Terran coalition emblazoned across her chest. Her silver hair was braided tightly, and the lines etched in her face bore the weight of decades spent forging fragile peace. Her voice carried calm authority as she addressed the gathering of delegates. "For too long," she said, "we have allowed fear to guide our actions. Humanity does not seek conquest, only coexistence. Let us build something greater than our past." The Grawl Dominion's representatives watched with unreadable eyes. Four reptilian war chiefs, with ceremonial bone crests and flickering tongues. At their center sat High Executor Jurax, a towering brute in obsidian armor. When Lyra finished, silence reigned for a moment. Then Jurax rose. "A stirring speech," he said, voice low and grinding. "But the Dominion has heard enough." Before anyone could respond, he drew a blade from beneath his robe, an illegal act on Trucehold, and plunged it into Lyra's chest. Gasps echoed across the chamber. Human security rushed forward, but plasma fire erupted from hidden Grawl guards. In seconds, the Terran delegation was massacred. Screams filled the hall. Blood stained the white marble floor. Jurax stepped over Lyra's fallen body and hissed, "Your weakness dies with you." Across the galaxy, the event played on every holoscreen. Shockwaves rippled through the interstellar community. Condemnations came swiftly, but sanctions meant little to a regime that had just declared open contempt for galactic law. The Terran Senate demanded justice. The Grawl sneered. The Accord fractured. And in the remote wilderness of Valkros 6, Sarah Cade watched it all unfold in silence. She sat beneath a blackened sky, knees bent in the high grass, her breathing slow, steady. She'd just returned from a hunt, twin-bone daggers sheathed, rifle slung over her back. The holofeed projected from her wrist implant, displaying the final moments of her mother's life again and again. She didn't cry. Not at first. Her hawk-like eyes, the same piercing gray as her mother's, stayed fixed on the image of Jurax stepping over Lyra's body. Her jaw clenched, muscles tensed. Then she stood. In her hidden bunker beneath the rock cliffs, she opened a case she hadn't touched in years. Inside lay a suit of sleek matte armor, etched with silent kill count runes from every campaign she'd survived. Sarah had once been a myth, the Huntress, a shadow in the night, trained by Terran Black Ops and exiled after a mission gone too far. She had walked away from war, from vengeance, from everything. But they had killed her mother. Not in battle, not in defense. In cold, calculated betrayal. As she locked the final plate of her armor into place, her voice, soft but steel-edged, broke the silence. They made a mistake. By nightfall, she had activated the stealth ship she kept buried in the mountain hangar. Sleek, black, and modified beyond regulation, Whisperblade responded to her touch like an old friend. Her onboard AI chirped to life. Target profile. Sarah uploaded the Grawl command hierarchy. Every name tied to the Summit massacre, from Jurax to the logistics officers who supplied the hidden weapons. She marked each with a red sigil. "Hunt Priority 1, she said. The AI paused. Huntress protocol engaged. The ship roared to life. As Whisperblade ascended into the black sky, Sarah's mind burned with purpose. The stars stretched ahead of her like prey trails, and she whispered her vow to them. "You murdered a diplomat," she said. "You thought humanity would kneel. You thought no one would come for you." She stared into the void, eyes hard. "But I'm not just anyone." The Huntress awakens. The jungle moon Threxos 4 was a fortress masquerading as wilderness. Thick emerald canopies masked the presence of a Grawl war camp hidden beneath the roots of ancient fungal trees. The scent of ozone and rot permeated the air, carried on the wing beats of predator bats. Patrol drones buzzed overhead, scanning with thermal lenses for threats that never came. Until tonight, a sentry blinked. For a moment, the foliage shimmered unnaturally. He raised his weapon, then choked on his breath as a razor-thin blade slit his throat from behind. No scream escaped, only the whisper of a body hitting moss. Sarah Cade moved like death incarnate, her matte black armor bending light, her breath time between steps. She passed unseen through the perimeter, one with the night. Inside the Grawl warlord's command tent, General Krivtal feasted on a steaming carcass. He laughed with his officers, gloating about how weak the Terrans were, how their soft words had cost them the galaxy's respect. He never heard Sarah enter. By the time he turned, her war blade pierced his throat. The other officers reached for weapons, but she was already moving, each strike precise, each movement a blur. Within seconds, 6 Grawl lay dead, their eyes wide in shock. She carved a message into the command console with a blade's edge. For Lyra Cade. Then she vanished into the trees. In the following days, 2 more Grawl leaders died. One suffocated in his palace, throat crushed by unseen hands. Another's private cruiser exploded as it exited warp, a remote detonation traced to a stealth beacon embedded in his wine rack. The Dominion tried to suppress the news, but rumors spread faster than censorship. Whispers flooded the black market comnets. They say she's a ghost, a Terran assassin, no, a Huntress, the daughter of the murdered ambassador. She's real. I saw the footage, nothing survived. On a secure Terran channel, an admiral watched the chaos unfold. Do we intervene? He asked his aide. The aide shook his head. Not unless we want to get in her way. Executor Jirax sat aboard his dreadnought, Dominion's fist deep in Grawl space. His fortress ship was a city of steel and fire, guarded by thousands of soldiers, drones, and battle-hardened veterans. He wasn't afraid. He believed he was untouchable. But the walls had begun to whisper. His advisors argued, some demanding retreat, others suggesting full war. Jirax silenced them with a roar. She is one human, he spat. You cower because a predator kills a few of the weak. She cannot touch me. A shadow passed across the command deck's viewport. Far above the dreadnought, something drifted, small, silent, undetectable. A stealth EVA pod. Inside it, Sarah waited, heartbeat calm, eyes locked on the ship's docking collar. When the magnetic locks clicked and the access tunnel extended, she breathed out slowly. Time to finish this. Getting inside was easy. She mimicked a supply drone signal. By the time the first guard spotted something wrong, she was already behind him. From corridor to corridor, she moved like liquid death. No alarms, no survivors. When she reached the central command hub, Jirax was waiting. His obsidian armor glinted under blood-red lighting. 2 bodyguards flanked him, massive Grawl brutes with shock hammers. I wondered if you'd come, he said. I never left, Sarah replied. The guards lunged. Her war blade met one mid-swing, cleaving through armor and flesh. She rolled beneath the second's hammer, planted a charge on his back, and flipped away just before it detonated. Then it was just the 2 of them. Jirax raised his war axe and charged. He was fast, faster than expected, but not faster than her. She ducked his first swing, countered with a flurry of strikes. He blocked most, but she scored a cut across his chest plate. They circled, each testing the other. You think this vengeance makes you strong? He growled. No, she said. It makes me human. She feigned left, slid right, and drove her blade into the gap beneath his arm. He roared and swung wildly, but she was already behind him. Her next blow shattered his knee. He collapsed. Sarah stood over him, visor retracted. Her face was calm, cold, and resolute. You killed a diplomat, she said. My mother. You thought no one would come. He spat blood. You were just one soldier. She leaned in close. No, she whispered. I'm the last mistake you'll ever make. One thrust. One final breath. Executor Jirax died, gurgling on the floor of his dreadnought. When the Terran fleet arrived days later, the ship was silent. They boarded Dominion's fist and found the command crew dead. No resistance. No traps. Just a single message carved into the steel floor of the bridge. Justice delivered. The political landscape shattered. With Jurarax gone, the Dominion fractured. Internal power struggles ignited, and systems broke away. The Terran coalition offered aid, but only to those who renounced war. Peace, born of fear and precision. And somewhere, far from the public eye, Sarah watched. She had no home to return to, no medals to claim, no applause to receive. But she had her mother's locket, and her name, Sarah Cade, the Huntress of Stars. And if ever again the galaxy forgot what a human was capable of, she would remind them.